Today we have a mess. We have a mess. So this is a wristwatch that I started about 6 months ago. I was waiting on parts, and I've received the parts. This has already been cleaned. Everything's been organized, and yeah. So now I just need to do the reassembly. We missed the breakdown, but we'll get the reassembly. So each individual part looks pretty good. The dial is in phenomenal shape. This is probably the best dial, and maybe if I get enough comments, I'll show you the other dials I have that are not in good shape. So this is a Waltham wristwatch. Waltham's history is rooted in revolutionizing the watch manufacturing with the American system. It's interchangeable parts and mass production, a model later inspired by Henry Ford's assembly line. Though a pioneer in the precise pocket watches, Waltham struggled to adapt to the transition to wristwatches. This is one of their early attempts. Failing to do so quickly enough, the original American company ceased U.S. watch production in 1957. Waltham name was eventually sold to Hallmark Watch Company, which produced watches with the imported Swiss movements. This particular movement is a Lorsa 238. It was made in France in the 1960s by the Swiss-owned Waltham International. So there's your history on this particular watch. I'm going to try to get the train of wheels together right here. It's been a while since I disassembled it, so it's remembering and just relying on some experience, trying to get the escape wheel just right on that small jewel, and then once that one falls into place, the rest I can pretty well piece together. So let's get the train and wheels together. Now you're going to see me struggle with this bridge. I almost forgot this piece, which actually is what locks the stem and the crown in place, but once I remembered, I have a hell of a time picking it up and getting it on the watch, but I was able to finally manipulate it in place. The train of wheels bridge also gives me so many complications and difficulties and challenges. I do eventually get it, and I'll slow everything down and show the wheel movement, but this movement is finicky. So the train of wheels fits, but it barely fits. So what I will eventually do is I will start the screws to kind of hold everything into place, and then I'll tighten them down once they actually fall into place. So there I'm installing the screws, not getting any pressure on the train of wheels at all, but just having the plate not move. And now I'll manipulate the train of wheels to try to fall into place where they need to go. The third wheel and the escape wheel give me the hardest time. And I'm sorry about the focus. I had it locked in place for when it was on the holder, and forgot to release the zoom. So I apologize for the blurry. Train and wheel bridge is in place. The train is running. The escape wheel is moving freely with the center wheel moving. So that means that everything else is in the jewels that they should be, and they're moving. So now I can continue reassembly with the Rest of the parts and the pieces, I do put a little bit too much grease on, so I had to clean it up a little bit, and it happens. Under this, the ratchet wheel, a little bit of grease isn't going to hurt things. Too much would, but that amount shouldn't make a difference. The unique thing about these watches is the smaller wheel, this one here, has a reverse screw, so lefty loosey righty tighty isn't true. For this one, it's lefty tighty righty loosey. Many a broken screw trying to figure that out. Not myself, but lessons learned from other people. But yeah, now we go to the dial side and continue assembly. I do make mistakes on this, and I'll call them out as they happen, but about 30 seconds, I'm gonna make my first one. So yeah, here's the mistake. I actually install this upside down. So this is what manipulates the keyless works and allows the hour and minute hand to move when pulled out and wind when not pulled out. So it's all installed upside down, so when I pull it out, it doesn't move the hour and minute hand because it doesn't engage the keyless works. I will figure this out and fix it off camera, but I wanted to call it out here that that was the issue that I was having, and I did eventually correct that after I put on the dial, after I put on the hands, after I got it regulated. So, lesson learned, check that before you get the rest of the assembly done. And then a little bit too much oil here yet again, so I will use my trusty Rodico. Yeah, too much oil. So use Rodico and clean it off, and clean it off, and clean it off. So now it shouldn't spread all over. But yeah, testing to make sure that the wheels still engage, and they do. It's just that keyless works did not engage when I wanted it to. I'll figure it out. It's upside down. It's upside down. Oh, yeah, that's better. See? Fits better when you put it in right side up. I initially struggled getting this thing on, it eventually does kick over right there. So it moved just enough for me to know that it's in the right spot, and I tighten it down. And as I tighten it down, it kicks up again. So it's definitely in place. I just need to give it more tension and hit it with some air, and there she goes, springing to life. So everything's looking good so far. Let's get the rest of the dial side finished. So this is where I still haven't realized I put the part on upside down, but I'm going to continue with the assembly. I put in missing the wheel that I had there, and now the dial. Now the dial retaining screws don't fit, and I don't think they ever fit. I think the watch came with the wrong screws in there. So I'll have to find the correct screws eventually, but for right now I just let it sit in there with pressure, and it does well enough. It regulated fine, and it's secure, it doesn't wiggle, so I think it's okay for now. I will keep my eyes open for the correct screws and solve that problem eventually. Y'all didn't see that drop, right? That didn't happen. So yeah, continuing on. Spare parts I was looking for and waiting on came with a seconds hand, and I think that's the one I installed. It didn't fit right. It wasn't very tight, so this is a correct seconds hand. It fit much better, and yeah, the watch is running great. It's moving quite well. The moment I realized that I put it in upside down is coming up. I'll try to time it, or I'll try to move the hour and minute hand after I put the crystal on. Again, this is stuff I should check here, and there it is. Yeah, it's not working. I can't get the hour and minute hands to move at all, and I think they're not on tight enough, so I try to get more pressure on there. They're on tight enough. It's just that the keyless works is not engaging because the part is on upside down. So I will show my exasperation in just a moment and correct the mistake and resume. So here we go. There it is. Now it works. So I had to disassemble the entire dial, take all the hands off, take the wheels off, and flip that piece, and then put it all back together. So here we go. Now I just need to verify that it all lines up, and it looks as if the minute hand is hitting the indices. So I will take my little size 2 tweezers here and gently, ever so gently, manipulate them so that they don't hit the indices. Did y'all see what's about to happen? There it happens, right there. The crown broke. So while I was winding it and testing it to make sure that it didn't hit any of the indices for the entire roundabout of the clock, I noticed that it broke. So that's great. The replacement I have isn't the right size, so yeah, fantastic. What I ended up doing was electroplating it, a new one. So there is the cleaned up, beat up brass crown, and there is the electroplated nickel crown. So now it's got that aged finished look, but it is now entirely nickeled. And I made sure not to get it into the threads, so it should still be able to be replaced if anybody wanted to do so later on. But now it won't fall apart, and it now fits the watch a little bit better. Before it had a yellow tinge, now it's nickel. So it matches the rest of the watch. I go through a few of the watch bands that I have on hand, and turns out I settled on the textured suede 18mm blue with white stitching. I just like the look of it. I think it fits well. I grabbed the wrong pins initially. I grabbed two 18s, or an 18 and a 17, so this one doesn't fit, and I don't realize it until too late. So I try, realize my mistake, and I fix it. And then I realized that I put them on backwards, so the watch was upside down if you go to put it on. I'm left-handed, so I wore my watches on my right hand, so that, I don't know, I had a moment. Leave me alone. It was a long day, but we figured it out. You can see the broke pieces on the table still there. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, leave a comment, leave a like, follow, and if you guys have recommendations for watches I should try in the future, I'm always looking for recommendations on how to make things better, and what you guys like to see and not see. But yeah, thanks for enjoying this, and if you got this far, I hope to see you guys in the future, and on to the next watch.